All right, so we are at 4 and a very good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining for this session today. My name is Ishita and I will be guiding you through this session today, sharing with you what I know and whatever I have learned so far. And also, I would request everyone, if you have any questions at any point, please drop them in the chat box. It's going to be open, and at the end of the session, I will be taking up. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Just a couple of things before we begin. We have disabled the microphones so that we have a smooth running session. I would also like it if you focus all your attention to what you will be learning in today's session. If you wish, you can take down notes. We will also be providing the recording for this. A little bit about our platform, WellCure. So WellCure is a digital natural healing platform where we conduct events, we conduct workshops related to natural living, natural eating. We have nature cure practitioners who are there to answer your queries. On our website, there's a Q&A section where you can put in your health queries, and they'll help you answer all of your queries. And also we have health journeys of people who have cured themselves from chronic ailments just by following nature's laws. We also have a repository of healthy recipes which are oil-free, gluten-free, and in general, really simple and healthy to make. So if this is something that interests you, then please check out our website, please check out our app. So before we go ahead, just a brief introduction about myself. My educational background, I am a yoga wellness instructor certified from the Ayush Ministry, level 2. I am also a holistic nutrition coach with WellCure. I have completed my master's in nutrition and health communication and my bachelor's also in foods, nutrition and dietetics. I also completed my certification of diabetic educator. My own journey with hormonal imbalances is another thing that I would like to talk about. When I hit menarche when I was 12, and at 14 I was diagnosed with menorrhagia. So menorrhagia is a condition in which the menstrual period does not end on its own. You need some kind of medication to stop your period. Unfortunately, the first time that I went to the doctor, he suggested a few medicines. I mean, that's our first reflex, right? We go to the doctors and we take in whatever they tell us to, which is good. But however, the thing is that it led to a lot of dependency, and after a point, the medicine stopped working. So if I took, say, 5 pills to manage my period, the next time the 5 pills did not really work, and I had to go ahead and take 10 pills, and then the next time I had to take 15, the next time 20. So the body's immunity sort of faltered, and it just stopped working. Those medicines stopped working for me, and it was a very scary time because I did not know what else to do. I kept changing places because we had to keep moving because of some or the other reason, because of my dad's job, or some other reason, and because of which I also had to keep changing the doctors. And it was really a stressful period in my life where my teenage years basically went in just explaining my health issues from one doctor to the other. And sometimes not all doctors really were that considerate, and they would have these scary sort of reactions which would scare me even more. And so quite for a quite long time, I was sort of clueless on what to do. Even though I was learning, all of this nutrition and health and all of that knowledge was there around me, but somewhere that application wasn't happening because I was very, very distressed. I did not really know what is the right way to go about. And that's when yoga came into my life. When I turned 18, I signed up. So I was a yoga practitioner right from my childhood, but not really very, a very dedicated one, I would say. Just once in a while, around my mother. My mom is a devoted yoga practitioner. But so on her insistence and on some of the doctors' insistence, I did join yoga, and it really turned things around for me. I with the God's grace, I got really good teachers who were there to support me, who taught me the authentic practices, who encouraged me to take up teaching. And under their guidance, I also became a teacher. And so everything that I learned, and yeah, the biggest victory was that it's been an year, almost an year that I have been completely off medicines, having regular menstrual uh, periods, and a lot of lifestyle changes as well as dietary changes which I did bring about, which has made this change. And it really it feels like a really good victory to me. And I'm so happy to be sharing today, whatever we have curated and learned from our experiences with you all. With me, I also have my colleague Asha Shivram here on the call. She's also a health coach with WellCure, and she has handled the nutrition aspect of this e-learning program. So I would like to invite her, and she will introduce herself to you now.
Hi everyone, my name is Asha Shivram. Thank you, Ishita. So I'm a nature cure practitioner. I've been practicing nature cure for almost 7 years now, and I'm also a health coach at WellCure. So along with Ishita, we both have curated the content for this program. And I would like to speak a little bit about my own health journey. I'm 46 years old, and in my mid 30s, I went through a series of health issues. It started with a slip disc, and soon after, I got hypothyroid problems. I had irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety, sleeplessness, and general digestion issues. And I did not know what was causing these issues. So it was basically a journey of self discovery, and I came across content which spoke about healing through nature, through natural living. And I changed my diet first. I changed over to a whole food plant based diet. And I also incorporated other elements of nature. And since then, it's been a wonderful journey. Today, I can say that I'm in the best phase of my health as compared to where I was in my mid 30s. So I'm happy to be sharing this knowledge with all of you. I did go through a lot of hormonal issues. I had, like thyroid is also a hormonal issue, right? I had mood swings. I had problems with my menstrual periods. So all these have normalized today, and I'm very happy, to be sharing all our knowledge with all of you. And I can truly say that after having studied many other healing modalities, that only nature has the answers for all our health problems. So I welcome you to this wonderful journey of nature cure, and I hope that you will gain a lot from the program. Thank you.
Thanks, Asha. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so moving ahead, what we have planned for today's session is that we will be talking about PCOS, what the symptoms of PCOS are, uh, and why yoga works well with PCOS based on whatever I have learned, whatever research. So my personal experience plus whatever I came across with in terms of the research, and also what is the difference, okay, between yoga as well as conventional exercises to manage PCOS. In the end, I will also be guiding you on, or rather providing you some proven practices, okay, very scientifically proven, research backed practices which work well for the management of PCOS. I will also be then, explaining you some of the highlights of the e-learning program that we have curated. So, a little bit about PCOS. I'm sure most of you must already be aware of what this condition is. Having lived that, we know better, what this is, and we are through and through well versed. Okay, so it's a lifestyle disease, and I think the answer lies right over there. Okay, it's a lifestyle disease. So lifestyle is something that really needs to be worked upon. That's something that actively will, when you make changes in your lifestyle, that's going to show its effect for sure, okay, on the hormones. Women, they have so many roles to play today, juggling home, juggling work, multitasking, and all of this is bound to create stress, and stress is the biggest reason of hormones going haywire. We're also away from nature. We are not really stepping out as much. Of course, because of the pandemic, it's become even less. Most of the times we are around devices, and so that connection with nature has really, been lost. There's a lot of different diets which are around us, which claim to be, better than the others, and certain food groups are being preferred over the others, and so that's created a lot of confusion regarding this. And also somewhere we have also, forgotten how to really take care of ourselves, okay, and in the right way. Okay, we are taking care of ourselves, but maybe, if we are resorting to certain undesirable things like, for example, eating the wrong kinds of foods, or staying on your devices for too long, binge watching things. So that's not moving around enough. So that's something, that's again going to make things wrong for you. So PCOS is a hormonal problem. It's usually seen in women of the reproductive age group. About 5 to 10% of women are there who are exhibiting symptoms that are related to PCOS. It has its effect on the health, the appearance, and it's usually diagnosed when women sort of have trouble with their fertility, when they have trouble getting pregnant. A couple of symptoms of PCOS. So when you go for your sonography, there will be ovarian cysts, which will be diagnosed. The doctor will tell you that they can see multiple cysts on the ovaries. Of course, there are skin issues, there is acne, there is hyperandrogenism, which means that the male hormone, that is testosterone, is circulating a lot in your body, because of which there is excessive facial hair, hirsutism. There is more amount of body fat which gets accumulated. There is anovulation, which means the eggs are not, getting released out of the ovaries. And so majorly, from a yogic perspective, if we see, this is more of a psychosomatic disorder. Okay, so when we talk about psychosomatic, okay, so it has to do something with the mind. Okay, and when we go and when we go and do things which are going to sort of calm down the mind, relax the mind, that's going to work better and better for the management of PCOS, the management of your hormones. If you're looking for complete remission, and I'm sure some of you must have heard, that it all starts in your mind. Okay, and it's completely true that most of the diseases actually, start in the mind. So when we start incorporating certain habits which are good for your brain, which are good for your mental health, automatically it shows a profound result on your physical health as well. And what better way to go about than yoga? All right. So yoga is a complete prescription in itself for a healthy body, for a healthy mind. It's there to uproot. Okay, the root cause of PCOS, gets eliminated with yoga practice. Also, the aim with yoga is not just elimination of your symptoms, like symptomatic treatment, like for example, probably weight loss or hormonal balance. Of course, that happens, but the ultimate aim is to have a better quality of life, to improve your quality of life in general. And the short-term goal, of course, is to work on obesity, to work on stress management. Okay, so these are the two, biggest factors which, when managed, show a lot of effect. Okay, profound effect on bringing back the hormones in sort of balance. All right, and it's also seen that as less as 5 to 10% weight loss is enough to show an effect, to show a very drastic and dramatic effect on your endocrine system. Okay, so just 5 to 10% weight loss you achieve, and you'll immediately see very, very good results. All right. So a couple of reasons why we should be, going for yoga. So yoga is, of course, an ancient divine science. It is time tested. It's been there since time immemorial. Millions of people have benefited from it. So we for sure know that it works. Okay. So that's such a big, assurance, right? That we know that this works. All we need to do is give it a chance. There are no side effects. Okay. Now, the sad thing about medications is that, medications give you a very symptomatic treatment. When I was taking medications, it was basically very, very symptomatic. It was there to, it was not there to treat the root cause. It was just there to, sort of probably manage my hormones, artificially, generate hormones or supply hormones. And because of that, I started experiencing a lot of side effects. So I started having terrible hair loss. My skin started becoming deteriorating in its health. I started having a lot of mental health issues as well. Like I was never a person in my childhood who suffered from anxiety at any point, but suddenly in my teenage years, I became a very anxious person, and things sort of changed for me mentally. So a lot of these medications do have an effect on your mental health as well, and you may not even realize that all this moodiness or that low phase that you feel sometimes could be because of the medications. Another reason why we should be giving yoga preferences, because it's completely free of cost, like, right? The sad part is that sometimes we think that oh, it's free of cost, and so we don't give it much value, even though we should take so much benefit, and we should just go for it, and just like sort of make the best use of what is available to us. Okay, so that's why we should definitely give it like a go. It focuses on a healthy body and healthy mind. We have already discussed that, and destroys the root cause of it. Okay, so that's the main aim. We are not working on symptomatic level, even though symptomatic relief is seen, but the main aim or the major root cause from where it emerges, that itself is tackled with yoga, and that's the best part about it. All right. Now let's see a couple of changes which happen when we practice when we start practicing yoga. Okay, first and foremost, when we start practicing breathing practices or even asanas or pranayam, uh, coupled with meditation practice, the dhyana, uh, it starts lowering the production of cortisol in your body. Okay, and cortisol is the stress hormone. So what happens with cortisol is that cortisol is the reason why we sort of have this stress eating kind of a thing. Okay, so when we have high levels of cortisol, we have a lot of hunger which is there in the body. So when cortisol levels start resuming or going down, automatically your hunger levels start getting in control, and you're better able to manage your hunger, and that works on your weight as well. Okay, so once the cortisol is managed, your weight starts getting managed, and then even these hormones come back to their normals. All right, so lower production of cortisol, an extremely important effect. Better quality of life, of course. From day one, you may not see overnight, nothing is going to happen, right? It's going to happen, it's going to take its time. But every day you will feel better, than the previous day. Something about the mood, like something about, you'll feel more refreshed, you'll feel more energized every single day. You'll feel like you're better able to manage your emotions, right? So once it starts balancing your hormones, of course, the menstrual cycle resumes, and because of which the fertility also comes back. It builds your capacity to deal with stress. Definitely, it helps in the management of your stress hormones and overall mood. The breathing techniques that we do in yoga, they bring about a lot of relaxation of the mind, relaxation of the body. All the negative emotions, irritability, mood swings, everything, starts reducing as you progress in your yogic practice. One of the best practices which are recommended for staying in shape is the Surya Namaskar practice. Okay, so the classical way of doing Surya Namaskar is something that I will share in one of the slides um, as we go ahead. But Surya Namaskar practice or sun salutations is actually a very dynamic practice, right? And even if you don't have time to do a complete yoga routine, okay, some of us, we are really busy and we don't find that time to shell out like 30-40 minutes. And although we should be doing that for sure for our health, but some days we simply cannot shell out the time, and on those days just doing 12 rounds of Surya Namaskar practice works like magic. All right, really works like magic. It helps in strengthening your muscles, building your stamina, improving the hormone levels, also, improving the insulin sensitivity. So insulin resistance is again one of the classical symptoms of PCOS, which can be managed with the Surya Namaskar practice. It of course helps in losing weight, yeah, because like I explained you, there's no stress eating, okay, that gets tackled. And also, okay, yoga is all about becoming more and more intuitive. Okay, whenever you join a class or whenever you go and practice it under guidance, they will always tell you to focus on your body, focus on your mind, focus on your breath, focus where you're feeling the stretches. So you become so intuitive of your body that it helps you to develop a mindfulness, okay, attitude around you, and that mindfulness transfers or translates in every aspect of your life, not just body but also how you're reacting to situations, how your hunger levels. Okay, you can differentiate that whether I'm really hungry or is it just that I'm bored or I'm sad or I'm not feeling my best, that's why I am sort of binging over. All right. The next few reasons why yoga works is that So asanas are supposed to be retained, right, for a few breaths, all right. And when we sort of get into yoga training, we are guided or we are trained to hold the poses for longer and longer and longer with each passing day. Now, what happens when you hold your poses is that it helps in building muscles. Okay, and what happens is when you build your muscle mass in the body increases, right? So a lot of people actually don't consider or don't, yoga doesn't come to their mind the first thing when they think about muscle building. But it's actually a very great way of increasing your muscle mass. And so it helps in combating. So automatically, our body proportion is such that when the muscle mass increases, the fat level automatically goes down, right? And as the fat level goes down, it's going to help in improving the insulin sensitivity, right? Um, when you're doing an active yoga practice, a dynamic yoga practice, it also helps in increasing your heart rate. Okay, it helps in, it works like a cardiovascular workout, and that helps in reducing your weight. We have asanas and pranayam practices which work at balancing hormones by inducing a very deep relaxation in your body. And what happens is that your adrenal and your cortisol levels, all of them, they start coming into balance. And that's why it helps in sort of management of PCOS. It stimulates the energy systems in the body. Okay, we have the chakras around. Now, chakras are basically energy systems in the body. When we focus, now some chakras like the Swadhisthana chakra or the Mooladhara chakra, the Manipur chakra, when they go out of balance, all these different hormonal issues start happening, and because of which, or if these chakras are holding a lot of tension in them, okay, unknowingly you may be holding a lot of tension in these areas. And when we systematically, with these practices, the hip opening practices, or the practices which help to improve the circulation around the pelvic region, all of these, they help in opening up that pelvic area, improving the blood circulation, and just improving the nourishment around that area. Okay, so it helps in activating those energy channels as well, and the pranic flow over there improves, and because of which again the systems fall back in balance, and you can see quite a difference in your health. So now meditation is a great way again to detox and de-stress your mind. There are specific meditations which are there to just relax you, calm you down, and they work really, really well again on the mental level of managing your mood and ultimately managing your hormones. Now we come to the management of PCOS, and what is it that you can do practically, right? So practical application is the most important. Often, like I said, with me also, in theory, I knew everything. Yeah, everyone says that, yoga is good. Everyone says, yeah, we should be eating right. We know that. We all know that. Okay, nothing new about it. But what we don't, where we lack is we don't take it as seriously as we should be. We don't implement it. We don't know the right way to go about it. We are not ready to commit for a longer time. Okay, and that's where that's why we struggle in seeing results. So the key is to be very, very consistent. Okay, that so one thing that in my journey also I resolved is that after visiting multiple doctors, every doctor used to tell me that you need to do some kind of stress management, join a yoga class, and my mom would always insist. So in my mind I just made it up that since so many people are telling me, I am just going to wholeheartedly, because nothing else seemed to be working. Like medicines for sure were out of question, they were not working. So what else? So these are the things that I was willing to, just wholeheartedly follow. So yoga practice is something that I just thought that, this is one thing that I'm going to, come rain, come shine, come hail, come storm, I'm going to do my practice. Okay, so that's the attitude that you also need to have, that no matter what, this is one thing, and start with one thing, and the other things can, of course, you'll be so motivated to do even the other things. So now coming to the management of yoga. Now, this is a research paper, okay, which has proven that a daily practice of 30 minutes consisting of just 4 asanas, 4 pranayam practices, a short meditation practice, and a short shavasana is more than enough for helping you reduce weight and work on stress management. Okay, so something proven, which means it's definitely going to work, right? What it also does is that it helps in normalizing the function of your hypothalamo-pituitary ovarian axis. Okay, so your hypothalamus, which is there in the brain, the pituitary gland, and the ovary, it's an axis. Okay, they all work in coordination. Even if one goes out of balance, the other two become shaky. Okay, and things spiral out of control. So it helps in normalizing the functioning of all of these 3 things. It cures PCOS. Okay, what a wonderful thing. Okay, it holds that amount of efficiency in it to cure PCOS. And I say it, with complete conviction, because it has happened for me. And boosts the health of the pelvic organs, the uterus, the ovaries, and improves the endocrine functioning. All right, so just 30 minutes every single day, 4 asanas, 4 pranayam, meditation practice, and shavasana. Okay, can work like magic. Now coming to which practices should you opt for? Okay, now in general, okay, when I was doing my yoga practice, I wasn't enrolled into a specific PCOS special class. All right, I was doing normal yoga routines, general yoga practice. Okay, now see, general yoga practice involves all of these exercises. Okay, so on a very regular basis, you will automatically be doing all of these practices. However, if you are someone who is not not yet enrolled for any yoga class, or if you're someone who prefers to do it on your own, you can definitely pick these practices and do them more often. Okay, so one we already discussed, which is the Surya Namaskar. Okay, so the Surya Namaskar that I have right now on screen is the most traditional way of doing the Surya Namaskar practice. There are many variations of Surya Namaskar which are available, but this is the most authentic style of Surya Namaskar. Okay, so we start with the Namaskar Asana, which is the Pranam Asana, Hasta Utthana Asana, where you stretch your hands up and give a slight backward bend. I wouldn't recommend such a severe backward bend. Just a slight backward bend is also enough. Okay. More important is to keep your head and your arms in line. All right. So another correction here would be that your arms and your head should be in one line. Okay. Then Padahastasana, which is the forward bend. Ashwa Sanchalanasana, where you take one leg back. Okay, your left leg first, and then you take your, when you're coming back, you take your right leg back. Adho Mukha Shvanasana. Ashtanga Namaskar, which means 8 parts of your body are on the floor. Okay, so your chin, your chest, your palms, your knees, your toes, and also your shoulders. Okay, all of them are on the floor. What is not on the floor? Your hips and your abdomen is off the floor. Okay, a lot of people have trouble, in this particular pose. Okay, so for them, what is recommended is from here you can just drop your knees and go and sit in Shashankasana. Shashankasana is child's pose. Child's pose is very common. Okay, so very easy also to do. So if you're someone who is not able to do this correctly, you can go ahead and just sit back on your heels in the child's pose. Then you stretch out in Bhujangasana. Again, go back in Adho Mukha Shvanasana. Take your right leg in front. Yes, Ashwa Sanchalanasana. Left leg in front, both the legs together. Again, a forward fold. Take both the hands up, give a backward stretch, and join your palms in front of your chest to complete one round. Now, this is actually so 12 steps on one side and 12 steps on the other side makes one round, okay, of 24 steps. So like this, we should be doing, if you manage to do 12, build yourself up, build your stamina up. It's a very rewarding feeling when every day you can do more counts, okay? So give yourself a challenge that, by the end of the week, I should be able to do at least, 6 to 8 rounds very comfortably. Okay, and that will happen on day one. Maybe you will be able to do 2 or 3, or if you have better stamina and better capacity, you will be able to do even 12 asanas, 12 rounds without much of a problem. All right. The next practice, which is very, very good, is the Paschimottanasana, which is the forward fold. Then there is Shalabhasan, which is lifting your one leg up at a time. So this is Ardha Shalabhasan. Purna will be both the legs up together. There is the Cobra pose, which is Bhujangasana, which is again very, very effective because all of these practices, they help in massaging the abdomen area or strengthening the muscles. All right. So that's how they work. When you strengthen when you strengthen these muscles, there's a lot of blood circulation which starts getting around these areas, and that's where you get a good amount of nourishment and nutrition. And this is the Makarasana. So Makarasana is a relaxing pose. A few more practices. So these are more in terms of opening up the pelvic area. So this is the Baddha Konasana in the sitting posture. You can also do it in the lying down posture, Supta Baddha Konasana. Yes. This particular practice is, slightly advanced practice, and it's not something that is recommended for people who are, especially sort of starting out with yoga. You may not be very comfortable doing this. So we call this as the Bharadwaj Asana, but again, this is something that is for advanced practitioners. So if you are an advanced practitioner, then you can go ahead and practice this comfortably. But if you're still someone who is building up on your flexibility, then this will require some practice. The Chakki Chalan is another very good practice to stimulate the pelvic area. And it's also very good for reducing your weight. And always end your practice with a Shavasana or a conscious relaxation of each and every part of your body. So with that, I would like to conclude by saying that yoga is a very, very holistic science. It's actually an art of living. Okay, we incorporate the yogic poses, the pranayam practice, the breathing techniques. We have kriyas, which are there in yoga, which you can utilize and make use of to improve your health. Yes, and like I said, just 30 minutes every day is something that's more than enough to show its impact on you. A little bit about our e-learning program. So we have formulated an e-learning program where we have also included, so yoga is just one of the modules, okay? We have other modules which are there on understanding PCOS. See, when you understand something and when you do it, it has a much better impact, okay? Because you do it with complete conviction then, okay? When you know the scientific reason behind it, you are more likely to follow it. And it's all about mental preparation. Once you are mentally convinced, it's very easy to incorporate changes and bring about new habits in your life. We have a dedicated module on diet and nutrition, on therapies which you can incorporate to manage your hormones, manage PCOS, sleep, fasting, and stress management techniques, kitchen setup, diet plan, and also setting up a routine. We have a dedicated yoga module, and under yoga also we have 4 modules, and each of them have different aims. Okay, so one of them would be for weight loss and improving your metabolism. Second is to improve the blood flow towards the reproductive system. Third is to improve the prana shakti, okay, towards your reproductive system. And the fourth one is just to relax and manage your stress. Apart from this, in this e-learning, there are also a few food videos which we have, a few recipe ideas which are going to help you easily transition to a better way of eating. These are some tasty recipes from our portal which we have put together, and these are all video recipes which you will have access to. And along with that, you will also get a recipe ebook where you will find all the healthy plant-based recipes. So this is the access is going to be there for 120 days on our e-learning platform. You can access it anywhere at any time. You can complete the course at your convenience. And we also have a Q&A support via e-learning. So while doing the course, if you have any questions which you need to ask or which you need to get clarified, we are here to answer them for you as well. All right. So if you are someone who has tried all these conventional treatments and they have not worked for you, or if you're someone who wishes to lose weight, if you're just in general confused and don't know what to do about this, this is something that you can definitely give a try. And it's actually a very empowering course. We want to empower you to make the decisions for yourself. And we've simplified it to our maximum capacity to sort of make it easier for you to follow as well as incorporate in your daily living. So if you are interested in enrolling for the course, the details are in front of you on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you will be taken to the website. And alternatively, there are also other methods, GPay, Paytm, and if you need any assistance, we are here to help you. So now I will open up for questions. If there are any questions which you want me to answer, I will be happy. As per my knowledge and how much ever understanding I have, I will try my best to answer them. We also have Asha on the call. So if there are any questions with respect to the course and with respect to the food and nutrition aspect of it, then she will be able to answer them.
Ishita,
Okay.
would you like to also tell them about the recording which is available? The first session.
Yeah. So we do have, so let me just show that as well. A few days back, we did conduct a similar workshop where the focus was more on the food and dietary aspect. And we have the recording of that available in case you want to know more about the, dietary management part of it and how that has been covered. I'll just quickly show you. That was conducted by Asha, and it's there on YouTube on our channel, and we'll share it with you if in case anyone of you are interested. It's a 1-hour webinar which we had conducted, and it's there on our channel, WellCure's channel. You can check it out from there as well. So if there are any questions, if someone needs any clarifications, I'll be happy to answer them for you. So first question is from Amrita. What if I can't do standing Surya Namaskar? So first of all, Amrita, it's perfectly fine if you can't do standing Surya Namaskar. You also have an option of doing the chair Surya Namaskar practice. Okay, so you can definitely go for the chair Surya Namaskar routine. That's a good alternative to go about. Okay, so sitting on a chair also you can surely do Surya Namaskar, and it is it's not as effective as the standing one, but it's a good alternative to go. Okay, Akanksha says PCOS में इतनी थकान क्यों होती है, कुछ करने की इच्छा नहीं होती है, ऐसा लगता है कि बस लेटे रहो. I feel very lazy. So Akanksha, this is ये एक hormonal imbalance है, right? This is all a play of hormones. And see, with Nature Cure, I think Asha will be able to better explain you regarding this. But from a yogic point of view, if I tell you, the pran energy, okay, when the pran energy in our body starts reducing or deteriorating, we start feeling more and more emotionally low, mentally low, and then physically also that lowness, sort of is experienced. So that lethargy, that fatigue is experienced, okay. So you need to do more breathing exercises, okay. So आपको breathing exercises, pranayam काफी incorporate करने होंगे. You will automatically feel more and more fresh. In fact, अगर आपको lazy लग रहा है, on those days, try your best to just get out of the bed and just go for a simple walk. And that's going to make you feel so much better. Trust me. Even I have been through those days when I just felt like laying on the bed and doing nothing. But the moment I started, doing the opposite. So अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आज मुझे कुछ नहीं करना है, और आप अगर वो इंस्टिंक्ट को फाइट करके इफ यू गेट अप और आप बाहर सिर्फ खुली हवा में थोड़ा घूम के आएंगे, you will feel so much better. And that's like you can take mini steps with that. Asha, if you have anything to add to this, maybe you can also add in.
Yeah, so in addition to what Ishita said, see, the slow feeling lazy is not normal. It's a sign of ill health. So it just means that your body is having lot of toxins, and that has slowed down the blood, and it has slowed down all the body functions, which makes you feel ill. So it is not your fault. So please don't feel bad that you are feeling lazy. It just shows that you need to return back to health, and that is what we will show you in the program through diet changes, through yoga, and through other holistic changes. So, children are always active, right? But what happens over time is our body starts accumulating toxins due to bad habits. As we get older, it is not due to age, so it is due to the wrong lifestyle. So once you change all the make corrections to your lifestyle, even the laziness goes away, and you will in fact have so much energy. And not only that, even there is a feeling of lightness in the body and mind. Yeah.
I think the next question also pertains to diet. Are fruits harmful for PCOS?
Ishita, I think you're missing some questions, right? Okay, okay. I think some messages have come to me directly. So, okay, let me just take up those two questions. Can we get the recording? Yes, we will. You will be shared the recording. We will be putting it up on YouTube and share the link. And somebody asks, can you show the first 3 slides? Maybe you can quickly show that, and then I can take up this question on fruits.
Yeah, sure. I can show the first 3 slides. I don't know which 3 slides you meant. Or did you mean about PCOS? Did you mean yoga and PCOS? If you can let us know which 3 slides.
Yeah, that is not mentioned. So maybe you can just show them, show the first 3.
So I'll show the yoga and PCOS one. This is the first slide where we spoke about the psychosomatic nature of PCOS. The next one was why we should be opting for yoga as a treatment module, because of how convenient it is and how cost effective it is. Yeah. And the third is what happens, what are the changes that you can see in your body. These are the first 3 slides. I hope that this is what you wanted. Should I move on with the questions?
Yeah, yeah. So I can take up the next question. Are fruits harmful for PCOS? So not at all. Fruits are nature's superfoods for us, right? We are naturally attracted through our senses to eat fruits. Fruits also being high in water will help with the blood flow, and it will help in improving all body functions. So fruits are not harmful for PCOS. They don't add to weight. They are with the fiber. So you will not be able to overeat on fruits. So do not worry about fruits. So I think next question also I can take any home remedies. So Tasnia, this program is not about home remedies. See, if you do home remedies, all that you are doing is you're trying to suppress the problem and you are not curing the problem from the root. So what will happen is that the problem will keep chronifying and uh, other problems will start appearing. So if you go and see the YouTube video of the first session we did in this series, you will understand that how problems get magnified if you try to suppress them. So do not use any home remedies except for temporary, as a temporary measure. You should always try to cure the problems from the root. So Ishita, I have one more direct questions. Maybe I can take that and then you can take over. Can we treat eczema and psoriasis? Yes, Veena, it is possible. In fact, on Wellcure, we have many healing stories of people who have healed from eczema and psoriasis. See, all skin issues are basically because your skin is trying to throw out toxins. Your skin is an organ of elimination also. So if there are too many toxins in the body tries to throw it out through the skin, and that is what we give different names like eczema, psoriasis, and all other health issues, dermatitis and all that. So we only have to take care of the toxic load in the body by changing the lifestyle, and these problems will go away. So Ishita, maybe you can take the next question, symptoms of PCOS.
Uh, is this a connected question? Any home remedies for symptoms of PCOS? So, like, so we mentioned about the symptoms of PCOS in our second slide. Okay, different women will go through different symptoms, but the most common ones are diagnostically. When you go for a sonography, your ovaries will show cysts, right? A few women have acne issues, skin issues. A few women will have excessive hair growth. Uh, uh, if someone is in their if someone's trying to get pregnant, then they will have, because of an ovulation, they will have infertility issues. Mental health issues will be there. You won't feel your best self. Hair issues will be there. Okay, some people may experience alopecia, hair loss, and of course there is weight gain, which also is seen in most people. So those are the symptoms, and we have to work beyond the symptoms. We have to work at the root cause level. Symptoms magically disappear on their own when the root cause is resolved. Vaishali says, before going to a doctor, how do we come to know maybe it's PCOS? What signs we see in our body? So just these signs, which we mentioned, irregular menstrual cycle is also one of the signs where of PCOS. Shilpa says, miss the beginning. Can you please share this webinar? Yeah, the webinar will be, recording will be there on our YouTube page as well. And we'll share it on the WhatsApp groups as well. Remedies for vaginal yeast infection. Asha, do you have anything to say for that?
So as I said, in Nature Cure, we don't have specific remedies for specific issues. It's also a sign of hormonal problems and your body trying to throw out wastes. See, any orifice in the body, whether it's your nose or your opening in the ear or your skin pores or breathing out, right? Or urine. All these are ways through which your body throws out wastes. So when your body is acidic due to mainly eating the wrong foods, this acidic wastes ferment in the body, and they also cause discomfort when they are thrown out by the body. So this is one of the main issues. And as Ishita explained, when we change the lifestyle and make corrections to diet, do some exercise, take some sunlight, take proper rest, all these things, the body improves its level of health. And as health improves, the problems disappear. We don't need to focus on specific solutions to specific problems. So rest assured, all that we are going to teach you through this PCOS program will also help you with vaginal yeast infection. Okay, so next question, Ishita. I think Akanksha is saying, ऐसा लगता है कि मैं अभी कभी ठीक नहीं हो पाऊंगी. I tried so much. Do you want to reply?
So Akanksha, we can totally understand, where you are at, because of, like, there was a point in my life where I felt exactly the same. I just thought that, this is going to be with me. मुझे भी ऐसा लगता था that ये मैं इसके साथ हमेशा रहने ही वाली हूँ. Like for lifetime, मेरे पास कोई option नहीं होगा. मुझे, ऐसा ही like this is the only way to live. But trust me, like this is where ये जो आपका स्टेज है या ये निराशा है, इसी से आपको बाहर निकलना है. ओके, हर दिन आपको ट्राई करना है आपका बेस्ट, एंड जस्ट स्टॉप थिंकिंग कि डोंट थिंक टू मच इन द फ्यूचर कि क्या होगा, ये करने से कुछ होगा नहीं होगा. बस ये समझिए कि आपको ये करना है, ये आपका ड्यूटी है. ये प्रूवन मेथड है कि इससे लोगों को अच्छा लगता है, और इसीलिए ये मैं अपने लिए करूंगी, सो दैट आई फील गुड. मुझे अच्छा फील होगा, इसीलिए मैं ये करने वाली हूँ. ठीक है. सो बस उस इंटेंशन से आप करने लगिए, एंड यू विल फील लाइक एवरी सिंगल डे यू विल फील बेटर एंड बेटर. Okay, so my only advice would be, just don't fall into that negative trap where you just give up कि ये नहीं होने वाला है, because that's definitely not true. Okay, things are going to turn around. Shilpa says, I'm 44. Will this program help me regain my hormonal balance? Yes, it will. That's the whole intention of this program. And no matter which age you are at, which stage of life you are at. As explained, we will also share the other video where Asha has in detail explained the concept of toxemia, and how that's the root cause of it. What's the difference between PCOS and PCOD? Okay. So, like in Nature Cure, we believe we don't like to get into specificities of what the condition is, and all of that. The root cause, we believe, is accumulation of toxins in the body. Removal of the toxins is what we focus on, and automatically when toxins get removed, you see a change. But I think when we talk about PCOS and PCOD, PCOS is a syndrome. Okay, so polycystic ovarian syndrome, and PCOD is the disease. So what I understand is that in PCOD there are immature eggs in your body which get released, and in PCOS there is much more hormonal. At the hormonal level, things are going wrong. So this is something that I understand of the two things. But from a nature's perspective, we look at it as accumulation of toxins and removal of toxins. Akanksha says, क्या हमेशा के लिए परहेज से चलना पड़ेगा, कभी ठीक होगा कि नहीं? मैं 10 years से PCOS से परेशान हूँ बहुत. क्या ये हमेशा साथ रहेगा? हमेशा मुझे सिर्फ अपनी केयर. ओके, सो आकांक्षा, आपका जो करंट लाइफस्टाइल और हैबिट्स है वो आपको देखने पड़ेंगे एंड इवेल्युएट करने पड़ेंगे. इफ यू थिंक दैट आपको एक पर्सनल कंसल्टेशन चाहिए, वी आर ओपन टू ऑफर दैट एज वेल. ओके, सो इफ यू आर समवन, अगर आपको ये लगता है कि पर्सनल कंसल्टेशन से आपको you will benefit more, then you can definitely opt for that. Okay, you can let us know. info@wellcure.com हमारा ईमेल है, आप उस पे ईमेल करके हमें इन्फॉर्म कर सकते हैं कि आप इंटरेस्टेड है एक पर्सनल कंसल्टेशन में, एंड we will be really happy to help you with this. Tasnia says, where your YouTube channel? So YouTube channel is the same as our as our platform name. It's WellCure. How many Surya Namaskar can we do at a stretch? Now, this depends on where you are. If you're someone who's a complete novice, who's just starting out, you can do 3 to 4 Surya Namaskars in the beginning. But as you go ahead, you can aim for definitely 12 Surya Namaskars at a go. Do we have to take generic medicine to get rid of this, or yoga will solve the problem forever? Yoga plus dietary changes plus lifestyle changes are something that's cumulatively going to help you come out of this problem forever. Okay, so Asha has also shared the YouTube link on the chat. That's the free webinar which was conducted. You can definitely check that out.
Ishita, what is the limit now for the program? Is it 120 days or is it a year? I'm not sure what is the new guideline.
Yeah, so for now, I think it's for e-learning courses, we have 120 days.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So Akanksha ji, I mean, we saw your question about why the limit and all that. See, it's also good that there is a limit on the program. 120 days is a lot of days, and you will see very good progress with that. And if in case you feel that you need to extend your access, you can always talk to us, and we will see what we can do for you. But what happens is it's the mentality, right? The more you have something for a long access, it just remains there and it is never used. So when we know that we have something only for this much period of time, we really become serious and we try to do it. But having said so, we understand what you're saying. So if you feel that you need longer help, then we are willing to talk about it. And we are also planning to have a WhatsApp group for people who enroll for the e-learning program. We understand that this is a long-term program and we want to help you with, um, some pictures of, inspire you with pictures of what we are eating and how you can make food and all that. Please note that in the program, we are sharing videos and an entire recipe book and so many video recipes also with you. You will get an idea how to cook food and how to correct your food patterns. But we also plan to share some information through the WhatsApp group. And if you are part of the WhatsApp group together with other ladies who are going through this, we understand that stress and family not understanding what you go through is a big part of this problem. So through the WhatsApp group, I hope that you will be able to feel connected and be able to share your problems and inspire each other.
Okay, we'll take up the last two questions. Is it stress and overweight the cause of PCOS? Yeah, so with toxin accumulations, it just manifests as different diseases, right? Stress is, of course, a big factor in, throwing the hormones in imbalance, and overweight is just excessive toxin buildup in the body. So this is the cause, and with the program, we go to the root cause and tackle it at the root level. The management is aimed at the root level. Should we avoid sugar? Asha?
Yeah, so Ishita, I'll take the next two questions. What food items to avoid and should we avoid sugar? So yes, you have to avoid sugar because it's a program based on natural foods. So sugar is not a natural food, right? It comes after refining sugar cane, right? But we will give you substitutes for sugar, what you can use. And please note that this is a program based on plant foods. That means we would advise you to avoid animal based ingredients. That means no to dairy and no to non vegetarian food. But we will give you substitutes on how to make tasty alternatives to both these things so that you don't feel deprived. And we will be explaining to you why animal based foods are so problematic and why they cause hormonal issues and weight gain. So, that is what we will be explaining. So, please watch the first series of the webinar for all food related questions. And in this series, we request, in this program today, we request you to only ask questions mainly about yoga. Okay, so I would like to say that for the price we are showing on the screen, this is a very comprehensive program, one of the most comprehensive programs we are giving from WellCure. Ishita, if you can go up and show what all are included in the program. Maybe some of you joined late, but please note that yeah, see, you have 5 modules. We are also going to teach you how to set up your kitchen, how to make a routine, right? Making a routine is so problematic for many of us, right? There is so much confusing information and you don't know what to do when. So we will be also sharing that information with you. You will see from this program that it's not just food and yoga. There are also other things. There are therapies. There is how to manage your sleep and all those other modules also included. So I would say it's a very comprehensive, holistic program for the kind of price we are giving to you at. I mean, when you have already spent a lot of money on doctors and trying out all these things, you might as well, go through this because it's based on nature cure, right? So, no gimmicks, no fancy superfoods or medicines we are going to tell you. It's only based on understanding the healing power of nature. Maybe you can show the next slide also, Ishita, the recipes and what is yeah. Yes, Akanksha, it's all in English. But if you want to ask any question in the e-learning platform, so if you register for the program, we'll give you a login through which you log in to a tool, and it's in the form of lessons. You can go through each lesson, each module, and you can put your question there. You can put your Hindi question in English, right? You can write in English and it will come to us and we will answer it to you. Maybe if you don't know English very well, maybe somebody can help you, like anyway it's you can do it from home, right? So somebody can explain to you what we are talking about, and you can always post your questions to us in Hindi also. Yeah, so you can go back to the last slide.
So,
Duration of the program, I think you can answer, Ishita. There was one question.
yeah, so the access is for 120 days, and yeah, so it's for 120 days from the day you register and you get the login. Shilpa also says that is there any live program happening, because I would love to have a live interaction for learning. So we do have live programs, but not for PCOS. We have other programs which are running live. If you're someone who's interested in yoga and doing it under supervision, I do take the regular yoga classes. They are weekly, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. So if that's something that you wish to learn, then you're very, very welcome to join that.
Yeah, and I would also like to say that this entire program is a self-paced program. So you can do it at your own pace from the comfort of your home. The videos of yoga is all pre-recorded, so you can repeat it as many times as you want. Whenever you have time, you can practice the yoga. Whenever you have time, you can also watch the recordings of what we have shared, and you can keep watching the cooking videos also again. So this program is not only for PCOS. I mean, the recipes anyone can. I mean, you can use it for any problem you have. So it's going to be helpful for different issues also. How many hours is the program? Ishita, if you can go, I think there are 5 modules, right? Each module is almost 1 hour, minimum of 1 hour. The diet and nutrition is 1.5 hours. So that is almost 6 hours here. And yoga is how much?
1 hour each.
Yeah, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 hours almost. And the videos, recipes, and the 50 recipes book is separate. That is extra. Okay, I think we do not have any other questions.
All right. So this recording will be available on our YouTube channel. We will try and share it on the groups as well that you are a part of. And we thank each one of you for taking time out today and attending this session. We hope that you learned something, and I really, really hope that you all incorporate yoga in your life in some way or the other, even in small steps is going to be enough. Okay. Irrespective of whether you decide to enroll for this or not, just try and incorporate small little practices, see how it's working out for yourself, and then decide and sort of get into the whole practice of it. Thank you everyone for being with us, and we will stay connected hopefully. Thanks. Take care everyone. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. And we will be sharing the video recording of this session and the previous session also in the group. So you will be able to watch it if you missed anything. So thank you. Price is mentioned 756. Thank you guys. So we will keep the slide open on for some time. If you would like to scan it with your phone and enroll,